Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of DiscussionTale. My name is Kemi Ologun, and my guest for today is a musician. Please welcome Femi Speechless.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much for
Thank
coming.
you.
I
I'm so-
really appreciate you.
thank you.
Tell me, how long have you been a musician?
I've been a musician for 25 years.
Wow, how did you
Yeah.
get started?
Yeah, I started in church,
Mm.
choirs, and how I started playing piano was for me. I learned it informally because I just stumbled into music. I didn't read music in school, but I know there's music in me. My dad used to play conga for King Sunny Ade before
Oh,
he died. So I can see that there's music in me, but I stumbled into it after my secondary school.
at what age?
At 23, that's when I
Oh,
started playing the piano. I was a sexton in a church, and a sexton is someone that cleans the church, arrange the
mm.
hymns in Anglican setting. So I have access to the piano, the keyboard. So after service, I started playing. I started learning from everybody. Once I watch you play, I try to play.
So what were you doing before 23, like during that period, during that years? What interest did you had in you before diverting into the piano playing in church?
Yeah, because everybody that grew up in Nigeria, you want to go to school.
Mm.
I finished my secondary school education, I'm still waiting for, it's a period for me to get an admission into university or polytechnic. So I had my time so I can do
But what interest did you had in you during those period?
those period. I just wanted to be a banker. That's it.
Oh,
I
okay.
am not, so there's one they call commercial class. So I was in commercial class. You do accounting, all those kind of subjects. So I was waiting to get an admission in banking and finance in University of Ilorin there. So, but University of Ilorin didn't give me admission. So I was at home for that year, and I started putting my hands on the piano. So I started playing piano at 23. At 26, I started my first band, which is this Femi Speechless.
Why Femi Speechless? What makes you to name your band name Femi Speechless?
Very good question. Thank you, Kemi. That name Speechless is not my name. I adopted from my fiancée, now my wife. We had an album called Speechless. It was released by The Cross Music in Lagos. The Cross is owned by Evangelist Ebenezer Obey, Baba Obey.
So you and your wife were in the same band then?
Yeah. We are still cutting, but I know she is a musician herself. I'm a musician. So
How did you guys meet?
we met in school. Eventually, when I got to school, I got to Kwara State Polytechnic. We met in school. We find ourselves in the same department, but different year. So I had a choir in school called the Psalmist. So I used to invite her. That's why we became close, and we started dating. So she released an album then, the title Speechless, was released by The Cross. So they call her Femi Speechless, Femi Speechless. But me, I'm just Femi. So when I started my music, I used to attend Winners, so people call me Femi Winners, Femi Winners, Femi Winners. So when I left Winners, I joined Koza, and I didn't want to be called Femi Koza. So I decided, okay, sort of.
So how does it feel knowing like you're now popular with the Speechless than her?
So I adopt her name because we are now married. So I'm the Femi, she's the Speechless.
Oh.
So that's
So
how.
did they kind of call her Speechless too?
No, they still call her Fumi Speechless.
Oh,
So
okay.
the Speechless became like a surname. We both share the name, but they call me. But the real name. So now people that are my fans in Nigeria, when they hear Speechless, they still believe that it has to be her. Though I featured in that album, Tosin Beats also featured in that album, and several other.
So tell me, what are the challenges you passed through, like
Well,
being a musician? Like,
maybe you mean to say my highest challenge that I've seen.
so you pass through challenges every time?
Yeah. For instance, when I was testing to play the piano, you are using church piano, play at church hours, church members will say, come on, what are you playing? You will spoil the keyboard. Why are you on the keyboard? I can see so many critics. People thought I should just leave it. But until the day we had a bishop and there was no organist to play in church, and they had to the whole church was counting, how do we play this in?
So what's the biggest challenge right now?
My biggest challenge right now or then?
Now.
My biggest challenge now is how to get people to rehearse with you as a band.
Compared to Nigeria?
Compared to Nigeria. That's the biggest challenge. Time here in America is everybody's busy. They don't have time to, even when you have something you want to pour out, you are not maximizing your potential because there are people that don't have that time to come to rehearse. I remember those times we rehearse almost 15 hours. We are just in the studio. Sometimes we might just be in the choir. But right now, it's very hard for you to get that kind of.
So do you do like most of what people meant to be doing? You kind of do everything on your own, or how do you still get people?
Yeah, for now, what I do is that the little ones I do, we synergized, and I make sure that all my musicians can do one or two things together. For instance, I moved from analog to digital.
What's that, your style of music?
In carry out my kind of music, instead of you to use people, start using computer to do what like 3 people will do. Yeah. I maybe in our next show I'll bring a piano and show you practically, but for the sake of people, so I moved to digital such that I can limit the kind of people, I can create the kind of sound I want, but I will still get to do it.
So you said your wife is also a musician, right? Yeah. So how do you guys sing together? How do you guys?
Yeah.
You guys do business together in music?
Yeah, we still do business together, music business together. We still sing together. And anytime she also has her own maybe ministration or something, I still support. I'll be on the piano. Music is a combination of 3 S. 1, the sound. 2, the skill. And the 3rd one is the spirit. 3 S. If anyone is lacking, then you cannot have a balance, especially if you're a gospel musician. The spirit, the sound, and the skill. Now, the spirit, how do you prepare spiritually? Of course, you pray and do your spiritual stuff. The skill, you have to sharpen your skill in terms of knowing
how do you sharpen your own
skill? You arrange your repertoires. There's what we call repertoire.
All this code you are saying, I don't know them. So.
Okay, you do your music arrangements. You know what you want to do before you get to the show. Okay. Before you get to any show, you already know. It's like preparing your praise list. There's nobody that wants to go out there that you don't know what you want to do. You arrange your music and stuff. That's the skill. Then the other one is the sound. If your sound is not good, there's nothing you can do. So you make sure that your mixers, your microphones, your everything, your sound engineer is in top notch, that I don't want any noise, I just want the way. So if you have a good sound, you are skillful and you're spiritual, then it's like preparation meets opportunity, then there will be manifestation.
So in all this, you do all this yourself?
Yeah, back in Nigeria, I have people that will do it for me. Here, I have limited people. So I had to train myself to do 70% of my music.
How long does it take for you to prepare before the event?
As a musician, you prepare every day. As I'm coming here now, I prepared every day. I have my keyboard in my trunk. I have things, if you ask me to sing, I have things to do. You prepare every day because you have to be topping your list every time.
Yeah, that's true. So your post anyway, I went through your Instagram page and I saw there's this connection between you and Pastor Toyinbo. Fatoyinbo. Yeah. So tell me.
Pastor Beautiful Fatoyinbo, in fact, is a spiritual father to me and to many people. He has been a blessing to me and my family. I joined COSA 2014, and he's the first pastor that will ever ask me, have you been to England before? And I was like, wow, because no pastor has ever ask me that kind of question because I was not thinking of traveling beyond. In fact, I've never even traveled before, not even to any other West Africa.
With your style of music, right? Your audience are more of like the Africans. What are the challenges you have with like dealing with all those people?
Oh, thank you so much, Kemi, for that question. One of my challenge with African people is African time. If a show is starting by sometime, just know that there will be African time. So that's just the challenge.
Then how do you try to for them to even believe, like trying to promote yourself when you just go, you're like trying to promote yourself to them and making them believe like, okay, you're actually good, these are things you can do.
Yeah, one thing I discovered is that when Africans know what they want to hear, so I pattern my music as if I'm still in Africa to them here.
So will you call that your unique style?
Yeah.
What's your unique style?
That's my sound. My sound like I'm in Nigeria for them here in America. And people have called me all over in the States, can I travel? Because they still want to have that feel.
You go out of state.
Yeah. I was in Georgia, I was in Texas, So I was in New Jersey and stuff. So I pattern my music for what they want to hear. So I can say that I do African praise party. That is what I do.
Outside music, aside all this party and all sorts, what other things do you do?
In America, yeah, of course.
I mean, generally, you yourself, even if it's not in America, yeah.
Okay, I work. I'm into healthcare. I'm a DSP. I work, but I just minimize my work from Monday to Wednesday. So from Thursday, I face music.
So you didn't later go to school to study in banking and finance?
I did.
So do you see yourself going into that profession later on?
I did my ND banking and finance, HND banking and finance, BSc banking and finance. Then I did my.
I mean, I understand you love music and also. So do you still see yourself later in future doing that as like a whole career profession?
For me, I cannot go into banking anymore. I just wanted to. Banking for me is a career I choose. Music for me is something I discover God has given me. Something you've not gone to.
So why do you now base it on gospel music? Like, are you from a religious background?
Yeah, because everybody has a music. Music has different side. Everybody can choose, but I choose the part of the gospel because of my religious background. Yeah, and more so, this is the world that I have to go into. Matthew 5:14.
Pastor, your mom is a pastor, like
They are church
people.
dedicated people, but they're not pastors. So God told me there's a Matthew 5:14. He said, Femi, you are the light of the world. So that's when I move into the world. I'm sorry, but I sound spiritual, but that is what my basis from going to the gospel music.
Okay. So what season of the year do you kind of get busy more? Like, booking left, right? Like people are always booking you. What season?
Like summertime. Yeah, summer is always very busy for me. But every season of like this month, January, I've done a lot of shows. But summertime is the busiest period for me.
So how, like, if summertime is the busiest for you, how do you get booked in a day? Like 2 times, like 2 different shows? How do you go to shows like per day?
Most times it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's the busiest. Because in America, I can't really do 2 shows for people. Once I pick a show, that's what I would do. Because just like I said, African time we have to figure it. They don't start on time. You don't have like who say I'm going to start 4 to 8, then I leave.
Yeah, wait, if you now get there at that time and they're not there, like you said that you did not give them specific hour, like I'll be here between 4 and 8, or I'll be here between 4 and 5 or something. You don't do that.
I do that, but when you are dealing with people, you have to be flexible. Especially when you know your background. People I play for, I said I tailor my music towards matured people in their between 35
that's your
upward.
audience.
That's my audience.
So you don't do for we youths?
If you call me, I will come, but my music is not targeted to you. One, I'm talking of the business side. Most youths are still students. they don't have my money.
So do you create your own music? Like, do you write it out, or you kind of get music other people's like songs and recreate it to your own?
Yeah, I do both. I compose music. I also have my tracks, personal songs. But most of the time, when you go to a kind of that setting, I do other people's music, put them together, so that
And you don't even try to even create something for me.
I flex for the youth. Of course, if I meet you in a party, I'm going to satisfy the youth, and I will do. I'm telling you, I will do a lot of Afrobeat. I do that. Songs that are good. I'm not saying when I mean gospel. Gospel simply means good news. It doesn't mean you'll be shouting. You sound religious. For instance, there's a secular song that says "Makole Marale." Malowo
So
se
do you change it to
manimo
your
to.
own?
No, I just sing it like that because the song is good. Mashegun show, Mashegun.
So what about those songs that have Ashake in it?
No, I don't sing Ashake personally because I don't. If I found any part of Ashake song that suit my kind of song, of course I would do. You know, I would do that. But I'm not saying. But I sing other people's songs that are very like Buga. Buga is a good song.
Danger.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a situation whereby you've prayed, you've like had this belief like this thing is going to come out well, and the thing didn't go as you thought? How do you handle situations like that?
Well, I've been in different situations. In that kind of situation, just know that you need to relax. You know, sometimes you might not get the best of your sound, but people are dancing. They don't know. Your audience just need to be on the top of your game, keep your smile on, and they call it stagemanship. You have to keep still. Your stage is still going on as if nothing happened.
So you've had several moments that you expected the guests to be dancing and everybody's just sitting down, or there's no show you get to everybody will always dance.
I've never experienced people who sit down. You can't sit down under my music. That one I've not experienced that. Yeah. But what I mean is that maybe you want your sound to be top notch. Maybe you want your guitar to sound somehow. But for people, they don't know your expectation, but you know. But you just have to keep a straight face. And
Do you have any advice for the young ones out there?
yeah, the young ones is one thing I have for them is that they should look inward. Everybody has talent. Everybody has talent. Sometimes you might choose to be a nurse is good, but I want you to look. What are the things you can do that you find fulfillment in? Because that's where we are going.
So to you, if you had to describe music to you, how would you describe it?
Music is life. No music, no life. Music is life for me. No music, no life.
So that's your life.
Yeah, that's my life. Like for me, there's a way you can use music, and music has been existent for a long time. In those days, when they want to go to war, there's a kind of music they play. When people are happy, there's a kind of music. When people are sorrowful, maybe they are mourning, there's a kind of music. So you can imagine there's no music.
So tell me about your project. Do you have any present projects, any future projects, anything you want to put out there?
Yeah. I have a project that I'm putting together like in Riaza Studio. They just imported the LEDs, what I mean the screens, so that we can use it as well. So I'm putting those things together now. It will soon kick off, maybe latest by March.
Studio where people will come to learn musical.
Yeah, that studio is going to, like, if you want to do anything, you can come to that studio, have your birthday there, have your everything there. It has a big screen. Then if I want to do shout out videos, I do shout out videos for people, but I'll be doing it straight from that studio. Thirdly, we use it as a rehearsal studio where we can rehearse also. But basically for people to come in, it's a space of like 50. You want to have your birthday, you just come there with your friends. Then we project your pictures on the LED screen. We sing for you right there, entertain them. So it's going to be a praise studio.
And you write music to like songs and also. So what really gets you inspired? What really puts you into that inspiration mode?
One, I believe in scriptures. So scriptures inspire me a lot. Yeah. And sometimes I receive music, I hear the sound. when I sleep.
Mm.
Yeah. So those are two things that inspire me to write scriptures and for me, because I choose praise party music, most of the time I praise God for my life.
Mm.
So by why praising God for my life, you get to also dance with me. So praise for me is personal. So, but I can infuse it when you see me praising God. You start praising God because He's contagious.
Do you have anything to say out there? Like, anything you want people to know about you? About who Femi Speechless is?
Well, my name is Femi Bidapo. People popularly known as Femi Speechless. I just want to thank all my fans, starting from you, Kemi. Thank you so much for bringing me here. And I want to thank all my fans. Thank you so much for believing in me and for supporting, promoting me. If you see what my fans are talking about me to people, I was like, wow. So I want to say thank you so much for supporting me.
Yeah, so thank you guys so much for listening. See you next time. Bye.